all, and a very warm welcome for this special Sunday Satsang. As most of you know, this is a very, very special day for all of us, and it's a very nice way to begin this new year. It is the birth anniversary of our beloved Guru, Paramhansa Yogananda ji. It was wonderful to begin this this morning with the talk that Master gave on his birthday. And there he says that he liked to celebrate his birthday because he get to see the joyful faces of his children or his disciples. And I think he will be very happy to see all his new students here, all these new disciples here, and it's the same joyful faces of them. And he then again went on to telling the story. It's amazing to hear his voice and then feel the blessing that his voice brings. It's such a great thing. Like, he's not a very grumpy kind of person. When you listen to his voice, there's a great enthusiasm. There's always a vibrant thing. I don't know, I hope all of you have an opportunity to listen to his talks, but not for only the teaching, just the vibration that he shares. I recommend and encourage all of you to just listen to him. It just doesn't, especially when you feel down or if you have any moods, it just doesn't let you stay there. It always brings you up somewhere and you're feeling like, let me do something, full of enthusiasm, full of life. And that's what he encouraged to do all of us, his disciples. Paramhansa Yogananda came with a very special dispensation, very special mission. As we see on our lineage, we have a number of gurus. Those of you who have read autobiography of a yogi know that his task was designed, or this idea came up when Jesus and Babaji talked, and they decided to send someone to the West to revive the teaching and then present them in a new way. And that's why Master also said this is not a new religion, but the new expression of the same teaching. But it took a long time to prepare before Master came, and then he went to the United States. And he brought the same teachings and then represented them in a way that now, in this age of transition, we all could understand and practice. He came here to plant the seeds of these teachings of self-realization. And he did predict that these teachings will spread like a wildfire. And he also encouraged all the youths to go to north, south, east and west with these teachings and give out to everyone, those who earnestly seek them. We were watching this movie a few days ago. It's about Saint Peter, one of Jesus' foremost disciples. And when Jesus was crucified, after that, all these disciples were kind of lost and they didn't know what to do. So they looked up to Peter because he was one of the elders, and then he was more in tune with Jesus. And then you should lead us. And so Peter took that responsibility, and then he was trying to tune in. And there's one time when he got this inspiration and shared with all of his disciples, where he had the seeds in his hand. And he says, like, well, if you hold on to the seeds just here, nothing is going to happen. And then the seeds are the seeds of the teaching. And then he throws all the seeds on the table and says, we need to spread them. And that's the way they will grow. They will be planted in different places, and then they will grow. And then they will have more seeds, and those get distributed furthermore. And then this is the way we need to spread the teaching. And then all his disciples, they just went throughout different corners of the world. And that eventually became what we know as Christianity today, a very large religion that is existing at the moment. And as I see at this congregation, and we think of it, we are all the seeds that Master have planted. We are all his children, and he is there in all of us, and he is alive through all of us. His teaching and his consciousness is what is there, we see here. And that's why we are all assembled here. He reaches his children through us. The body that he has left, but he remains existing in this world through us. And what can we do when it comes to our responsibilities towards looking at him? Just step aside and be an observer. See him in action through us as he works. When I say become an observer, it's like we offer our hands, we offer our eyes, we offer our speech so that He can talk to His children through us. He can look and He can send that compassion through His eyes and through His action, through His whole heart, but using us as an instrument. The promise that He gives is, open your heart and I'll come and take charge of your life. We say that many times in purification. Affirm that mentally. Try to see what it is trying to happen. How can we open our hearts more so that He can come and take charge of our life? I was trying to think like, if He comes here in the physical body and says like, can I come and stay with you? What do we answer? Of course, Master. And then He says, well, I want to stay for long. Do you mind? No, I will create everything. And then the mind will start with entire cooperation from all our being. We'll prepare creating space. We'll think that, well, He would need some more space for satsang. Now when Master comes, many devotees would like to come. He used to like to cook, so he would need a better kitchen. He would like to write, he would write books, so we'll prepare everything. What about all my furniture? What about all my stuff? Well, get rid of that. Create more space. Satsang, a lot of people will come and then He needs space. The same thing we do for our hearts also. What do we have in our hearts? A lot of things we put there. We have our desires, we have our attachments. If we want to open it for Him, now remember, Master is not in the body. Well, when He was in the body, He had a pretty stout body, but now He's infinite. Now, if we want to invite it to us, we want to make sure that the space is not limited for Him. And we can open that way. We prepare it. We talk to our desires, our attachments. Well, yes, I know that you want to be fulfilled, but I have to make a choice here. Either it is you or it is Master. And then you can make the choice. Well, the choice is clear, so you have to leave for the time being. And then He will come with such an invitation which comes all the way from the heart. He is always willing to come, and He can occupy you, and He will stay. And maybe not temporarily, but He will come to live there all the time. I hope you feel His presence all the time, today and every time of this year, in your heart and throughout us. Joy to you.
Happy Master's birthday to everyone. Today is Master's birthday, and sometimes we give gifts to people, and sometimes we ask the birthday man, the birthday woman, what do you want? Shall we ask Master today? What do you want, Master, today? What shall we give today? What gift would you like? Have you asked this question in the morning when you wake up? It's a birthday, it's a real thing. Isn't so? What does Master want from us? And there's a line that Master commented often when people will see that thousands of people coming to his lectures, and he will say that, I prefer a soul over a crowd. And I love crowd of souls. And then he later on he added also, I'm only interested to give a bouquet of souls to God. That's my only interest. So that's why he came here also, that he gathers all his children to take to the kingdom of God. And in the Bhagavad Gita says, Krishna says, many have been my lives and many have been yours. I remember mine, but you do not remember yours. When Master came, he was avatar, so he remembered all his lifetimes. He said that I remember my life when I was a diamond, as a Arjuna, as a William the Conqueror, or a Spanish general. Or then he came here. Who knows how many lifetimes he came. But why did he come for all these lifetimes? As a Spanish general, as a William the Conqueror, as a Yogananda. He said, I killed Yogananda long back. No one lives in this temple but God. Only one purpose is to have God's work, to take souls to the kingdom of God. As Larry Masha said that, Mother, your son, thy child will be an engine, will take millions of souls to the kingdom of God. And I think we are all in that million, I think, and we'll be reaching to the kingdom of God very soon. So what do we give Master on his birthday? And why did he come? Swamiji was commenting, and Master promised, he said that he will come back in 200 years. And he will, in that lifetime, he will take his disciples. First, he will wander around Ganges. He'll be singing the name of God, because he said that he worked very hard in this lifetime. So in the next lifetime, he will come, he will roam around Ganges, sing the name of God, and at the end of that life, he will take disciples, those who will be ready to Himalayas, and prepare them for higher realization. And then he said that also, that at the end of the life, when you come to the other side, I, or one of the masters, will welcome you, will be there to welcome. He promised to meet us. Maybe 200 years, if we come back, and maybe we'll be with him, or maybe at the end of the life. And one thing he often reminded us, that think in this way, that you find your realization in this lifetime, and it's not a big thing, you can do it, he said many times. Swamiji was saying, I remember Swami Kriyananda, that Master had many circles of disciples, but to a very close group of disciples, he would talk one thing. He was not talking about Kriya Yoga, he was talking about attunement. He did not discuss Kriya Yoga, but he said attunement. But of course, what is the purpose of the Kriya Yoga? Is to bring us into the attunement, and to bring us into the line that we can reach to God. Last week I was giving a satsang here, and I was saying a line which is very common. They say that if you put one hand up and ask God, He will come down with both the hands and lift you up. And Master said similar things. He said that whether I am in body or not, those who will be in tune, I will stoop down from heaven and lift them up into the kingdom of God. So that's why Master came. So today he will want, in that bouquet of souls he's presenting to God, we could be one of the souls, we could be one of the flowers of those souls he's going to present. God bless you.
Many blessings to everyone here. It's such a special day. Like when Buddha was born, Krishna was born, or Patanjali, or any of the great masters, Jesus Christ was born. This is that kind of a day. An avatar has come to earth, and they never really die. We think he's not here. He proved so many times he was here. Master resurrected his body after his Mahasamadhi. He showed himself just like Jesus Christ did, just like Lady Mahashaya did, just like Swami Sri Teswarji did, Babaji all the time does. The masters don't die. Their body, they leave their bodies, they drop their bodies. Swamiji didn't really die. They're in omnipresence now. And the Guru calls us to reach up to him in omnipresence. And so Master, on this day of his birth, he's calling to us. You can feel him. He's wanting our presence, and people, we feel lonely. We want to have our Guru with us. We want to touch his feet. We want to come close to him. Well, we have to uplift ourselves to be able to do that. We have to uplift our consciousness. We have to think him close all the time. To those who received him, he gave himself. And Guruji came to give not a teaching, just Kriya Yoga, writing books and all. He came to put his consciousness into the disciples, to transfer his magnetism, his energy, his light, his spiritual Shakti, his power into those who are open, who are ready to receive. And this is a bond that the disciple has from other lifetimes. I found it so thrilling to hear all the readings from all of you, today. Of course the readings are beautiful, but more than the readings, the souls are beautiful. The greatness of the Guru is expressed in the disciples. And the souls, the faces, the eyes, the happiness, the success, the joy, the upliftment, the power, the magnetism that the disciples have show the power of the Guru. And Master is coming to all of us through this example. And these bonds that we have are forever. I recall when I read Autobiography of a Yogi, I didn't understand. It was over almost 40 years ago. I didn't understand karma, and I'd never been to India. Reincarnation, I didn't know what that was about, and they never talked about that in my Bible study class. And they talked about levitation. I said, wow, that's amazing. And then the saint had two bodies, and someone's resurrecting himself, and it was on and on. I thought, this is fantastic, but it went straight over my head. But when I looked into the face of Paramhansa Yogananda, I looked into his eyes, I heard his voice, I started doing his meditation techniques, I read his books, I did the yoga postures, I saw the people, the saintly people of Ananda. I knew that he had come for me. And I think everyone here feels that. Maybe you don't understand so much, how does Kriya really work? How does this work? We don't understand all the specifics, but we know that bond is forever, and when Master touches your heart, like Swamiji said, you can't get him out of your mind. He will not let you rest until you have achieved your goal of final liberation of moksha. So when he touched Swamiji's heart, when Swamiji first came, he put his finger over his heart chakra. You remember the story from the path. And his whole arm vibrated for 2 minutes. Swamiji said he was never the same person again. That was the touch of the Guru. Another man, Orville Anderson, I think was his name. He came to Master. Master took his head in an interview, and he brought his head close to his, and he looked into his eyes, and he gave him the power of God. The man became a disciple. He was never the same again. When Dr. Lewis came, Master gave him the vision, the sight of the spiritual eye, the very first time in the 1,000-petaled lotus. He was never the same again. Another man came to Guruji, and he said, he knocks on his door, another disciple from the past. They found their guru magnetized them to come. He knocks on the door, he says to Master, can you show me how to go breathless? I've tried everything. He says, come in. He shows him how to go breathless. These are bonds that are forever, and we pick up from where we left off before, and we keep moving forward. And Guruji, in Swamiji's life, he told so many beautiful stories how he would just be sitting in the room with him, and his energy, Swamiji's energy, would lift up just because the sight of the Guru, sitting with the Guru. He'd be talking about other mundane things. He said one time it felt like his whole head was going to open up because of the vibrations of the Master. We can't rely on books and techniques. We have to rely on that power that the Master plants in your heart like a seed. It's from him to the disciple. Being a student isn't enough. Reading and going to lectures. The Guru wants to give his consciousness, his energy, his magnetism, everything he is, everything he has, and plant that in the disciple. That's the 75% that we've talked about. 25, I'm doing Kriya with 25, I'm chanting with the 25, I'm energizing with the 25, I'm doing Angsa, I'm singing in the choir, I'm doing, that's 25%. It's only to open us to the flow of grace that's always there. And I'll tell you something so beautiful that I've told some of you, but Master brought hope for your life to be better, to get out of pain and suffering and sorrow and negativity and selfishness and greed and wanting things, living an outward life. He brought a way to go inside and be so blissful, so uplifted, so much in the light that all the darkness just falls away. And a beautiful story of Swamiji asked Master, he said, he asked him once to bless him. And Master said, I'm already blessing you. So much. You have no idea. Better not to ask. Only open your heart and receive. We have to get an attunement, as Devendra was saying, in that flow of the grace. The joy is already there. When you wake up in the morning, to that affirmation, the joy is already there. We just have to attune to it. The bliss is already there. The Master is already there. He's waiting for me. And the Master showed so many times the love he had and the energy he had for his disciples. There was one disciple, it was Oliver Black, and Master wanted to go for a drive. Some of you have heard this story, and it was pouring down rain outside, and Mr. Black had come to visit his guru, and Master said, well, let's go out. And so he had a phone call, and so Mr. Black, he put on his coat, and he walked like from here to the door. And he had looked out, he says, we can't even see anything. How are we going to go for a drive? It was pouring down rain. He goes and he opens the door, he walks out, no rain. Completely dry. Master looks at him, he says, for you, Oliver. He showed him. God gives through the Guru. Anytime. All the time. We have to receive. A lady at Ananda who is not even a disciple, is a parent of one of the residents, one of the disciples. She walked out, taking a walk at Ananda, and Yogananda ji appears to her. She was a Spanish woman, very devout Catholic, and she couldn't talk for hours after that. She couldn't tell anybody. She looks at Yogananda and she says, do you come here often? They had a conversation. They said, do you come here often? And he said, what do you mean? I'm here all the time. When she could finally get the story out, she told her daughter, and her daughter told Swamiji, and he told all of us. We asked, do you come here often? He says, I'm here all the time. To those who think me near, I would say this year, make it your goal, think of the Guru. Think him near, draw him near. I remember I asked Swamiji once, when they were with Master, if Master, ever embraced them, and or if they were ever able to embrace him. You just feel like you want to reach out, and he says, no. He says, we only ever touched Master's feet. But once in a while, he would allow you to just put your head like up against his shoulder. So sweet. He's our father, mother, friend, everything. Where would we be? Everything. That's the Guru. And we're his children, spiritual heirs of his spiritual wealth. He's giving his power, His love, His joy. All those who open. The Guru came, yes, for a world mission, but he came personally for each one of us. Don't let the lifetime pass. Train is moving. Stay on board. Let the Master take us to self-realization, this life. There was a man who came, Master said, if you leave now, it's going to be 200 lifetimes, not years, lifetimes before you can get back to the point you've reached now in your spiritual progress. We don't know how far we've gone. And the man left, and Master wept. We don't know how close we are. The Guru says, I've given you everything, just keep with me, and I'll take you all the way. Finally, another woman, he said, if she stayed 24 more hours, she would have rid herself of that karma forever. We don't know what a great lifetime we have. Wow. Let's take full advantage and pranam again and again and again and again. The feet of the great ones and our Divine Guru. God bless you all.